2371 by Representative Carter. Representative, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, Bill 2371, literally I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning. We met yesterday with all interested parties and spent into the night working on amendments consistent with each party's concerns. Those were literally reduced to writing and finalized today at 11 o'clock. They ran in the Senate. I've filed them as soon as I could with this committee. Certainly, there are some substantial additions. There really aren't corrections, but there are substantial additions. And so for that reason, I would assume that we'd need to take a week to let everybody look at it and catch up. I can detail the bill if you would like for me to do so. Or
let's get the bill in the proper form. We have a proper motion and second on the bill. We have amendment number 1 by Chairman Harrison. It's drafting code 012334. Chairman Harrison, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't think we need this amendment. Move to withdraw.
Okay. Thank you. Then we're going to go what will be amendment number 1. Drafting code is 014686 by Representative Carter. Representative, you're recognized for amendment number 1.
Yes, sir. This amendment recreates a moratorium to last for an additional year and states the terms and conditions of it. It is more extensive than the currently existing moratorium in that it affects all forms of annexation except those by consent. The bill restates and clarifies and makes more clear that consent trumps anything. If people consent, they come in regardless of the situation. It extends the TASER study date through February 15 of 2015. For this reason, this bill establishes in every citizen who is qualified to vote the right to vote on the annexation of his or her property. However, questions arose last night. What do we do with non-qualified owners, such as Home Depot, Walmart, Kmart, people that own property as corporations? Will the corporation be allowed to vote? Those issues are being referred to TASER to determine what position those landowners should be placed in. The bill goes on to have a technical cleanup because of the amendment to make it work. Primarily a change that I want to advise everyone is it sets aside farms. And for example, what kept coming up last night, if you have a farmer that owns 500 acres of land, and he has 3 homes that are on the outskirts of his property and touch his property, can the city have a referendum for annexation as is now required because of the deletion of the right to vote or the right of a city to annex by ordinance, a vote of 4 people, where the 4 people surrounding the property can put the farm into the city. This bill provides that a farmer whose property is being primarily used for agricultural purposes cannot be brought into a referendum unless he or she consents. It provides that the registered qualified voters who own property are those that can vote in that situation. Section 5 again excludes the metropolitan forms of government because they've already acquiesced by referendum in their issues on annexation. Section 6 of the bill provides a very narrow remedy for certain places in the state where a farm was literally taken into the city. However, the farmer acquired other lands which were outside the urban growth plan. So that farmer finds himself in the position now of wanting to be in the city but not being able to come into the city because it would extend the urban growth boundary. This bill will allow cities to extend their urban growth boundary without going back through PC 1101 and its many requirements if the property is already partially in the city, has been annexed by the city, and is with the consent of that particular landowner. It avoids the requirements of 1101 in that very limited situation. Paragraph 7 is the severability clause. Section 8 states that the right to vote, the end of forced annexation's effective date is May 16, 2015 at the end of the moratorium created herein. So we have made some substantial improvements and changes to the bill, and I assume that we would want to move that a week to allow everyone to catch up with me on that.
We got a proper motion and second on the amendment. Like I said, we're going to add the amendment and then going to take the entire bill and roll it for 1 week. Leader McCormick, I know you had your hand up. Did you have a question? Okay, thank you. Any discussion on amendment number 1? I see none. It will be before us again next week. I see none. We're voting on amendment number 1. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Amendment number 1 is on, and we roll House Bill 2371 for 1 week. We're on item